Well, the game started off strong, and then things went left. The Phillies dropped game one against the Angels yesterday. Not a great ending to the game. We're going to get into the bullpen struggles. We're going to get into all that we saw offensively, the errors, the wild pitch, and much more here on PHLY Phillies podcast. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. Tyler Zulli, Jamie Lynch, myself, Renee Washington. We've got Jim Salisbury going to be joining us around 11:30 to just talk through his thoughts on what's going on with the Phillies and what he'd like to see different. And in the chat, I see some of our friends here already. As always, I don't know who was first. My apologies, but I know we've got Dave P, Chris Slemmer, Eric W, John Sequella. Let's vent. Let's get this out there because yesterday was not a good day. It was very frustrating. The game itself took about 5,000 hours. I thought it was just me that I was like sitting there like, holy crap, this game is dragging. And then what made it worse is it dragged, took forever, all for the Phillies to lose. And at the end of it, I was like, I want my time back. I want my money back. I didn't pay, but I want my money back because that was very frustrating to go up against an Angels team that right now is bottom of the AL, third worst record in the AL, dropped 9 of their last 10 games prior to last night's win, and we're on a 4-game losing streak. But a team that you could pounce on game one, be feeling good, keep the vibes going after having the sweep against the Padres last series, and yet the Phillies laid an egg in the last few innings. And it all started with Seranthony Dominguez, which we'll get into.
Seranthony Dominguez is quickly becoming old yeller. They need to send him down to the farm in Lehigh Valley somehow. We'll talk to Jim Salisbury about like what you can do there. You know, arm fatigue can be an IL designation. The Phillies have had success in the past in 2022, sending Jose Alvarado down. Yeah. So I don't want to say it's over, but it's at the point where it's detrimental to the team, and he's actively hurting them. And at some point, like last night, Kruk and T-Mac were saying it, like he has no confidence.
None.
He can't put a ball anywhere where he wants to. He ended up spiking what felt like 3 balls. I think it was only 2. He's just kind of cooked between the ears. So, you know, can they fake an injury? Can he accept emotion and get through waivers? Probably not. Like, I don't know what they're going to do here, but he's out of options, and you basically can't really pitch him in any sort of, I don't even want to say high leverage, in any sort of non-mop-up duty. Like, he is relegated now to 5-run leads or bigger situations only. He's been that bad. His ERA is up to 9, was it 9.78?
Yeah, it's
or 9.73? Like, Seranthony, I liked you. I like you. You're still throwing gas. Hopefully you can go sort this out down in Lehigh.
Yeah, I mean, to have had 10 1/3 innings pitched so far and have a 9.58 ERA.
It's almost impressive.
A 1.74 whip, 12 strikeouts. But as we saw, I look back at the Reds game specifically because I know after that, there was the frustration. This is deja vu. We've already had this conversation. And it was against the Reds that we saw him go out, and he didn't make it a full inning and gave up, like, he was the cause of 4 runs, 2 hits, and just completely changed the entire momentum of the game. And now the Phillies sitting at 19-11 on the season, still obviously records-wise in a good spot. But how many times are we going to see the Phillies? This is what I left this morning, I should say, since it was 1 o'clock in the morning, when I was done watching the game. Well, it was 12:30, but whatever. Thinking, how many times are the Phillies going to continue to lose games behind one person? We've seen of their 11 losses. Let's think about this season. It was Connor Brogdon and Ricardo Pinto. They've been shipped.
Sticky beans.
It's been Seranthony Dominguez that caused them a couple of games. And it's not just always on one person.
2 in the last week. I mean,
but
Cincinnati
2 in the last week. He's
this.
the reason. Exactly. And so and then honestly, the two games against Cincinnati, we can even point to overall like lineup construction was just not good.
Yeah, there was a
like
Cowards
some of it was
lineup.
also it was a very bad lineup.
2 days
Rob,
of Cowards lineup.
Correct, back to back. So I think that was something that was kind of like encouraging because they're losing games that they're almost giving away. But let's stop giving away games. When are you going to realize Seranthony is not the answer and put him lower? You've got options. You've got Jeff Hoffman. You've got Jose. You've got Strom. You've got Orion. There's other options. So if you're trying to see what you can get out of him, you're not going to build his confidence by him continuing to be the reason why the Phillies are losing games. He already has been struggling tremendously, and you're going to turn around and then put him back out there. I mean, you gave up. He already came in. He's been bouncing around that 9.72 ERA. His numbers have been off. His 19% ground ball rate coming into last night was among the worst in baseball. He's throwing first pitch strikes at around 45% of the time, which is a career low. He is in a low place right now. Rob's saying how he still has confidence in him, but confidence should not be built and does not need to be built in live game action. There's other opportunities. Do some bullpen sessions. Go just get demoted. Maybe get some Zen, some time alone.
Some ayahuasca and some mushrooms.
Correct. And see if you can get back. Because he's like, Rob's saying how he wants him to be able to throw strikes, and that's what they're hoping to get out of him. He's not throwing anything.
He doesn't know where
lollipops.
anything's going last night. And the first home run ball there that he let up, I mean, you saw Stubbs was high and inside, up tight by the nipple and the letters. And Seranthony threw it low in the middle.
Not
and, you know, like that's just a pitch that's going to get crushed there. It's problematic. You know, Rob's thing and part of why the clubhouse loves him is he gives guys a lot of rope. I think we've given Seranthony enough now.
Yeah. When is enough?
Yeah, it's strictly mop-up duty, or you go down to Lehigh with some arm fatigue, and hopefully you can sort this out. But you can't do it anymore. Like, you just can't. It's incredible, like what you're saying there about, you know, the month, and there was a couple frustrating losses in there, and you know that's early season baseball for the most part.
Yeah.
But to put the positive spin on it, those negative things that have been very annoying, Cowards lineups, Seranthony, Dickie Beans, and Brogdon, they still had the most wins in April for their franchise history, tying the 2011 mark of 18 wins. They have a chance to break that today. Shout out Skylar, my daughter's birthday, the last day of April. So they have a chance to break that today. So like as
Happy
fresh,
birthday.
yeah, she's turning 5.
You have a 5-year-old.
I know, what the hell happened? I blacked out these last 5 years. They have a chance to set, you know, so I do want to put positive spin on it, because it was frustrating as hell last night. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
I stayed up late. I was pissed. I was angry, eating some candy. But they still have a chance to set the franchise record for wins in a month, which is pretty incredible, because I think it shows you long term that they're going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
You know, Dickie Beans and Connor Brogdon can't hurt us anymore. Soon, Seranthony's not going to be able to hurt us. You take those 3 guys away from this, and like you're really cooking with gas.
Yeah, exactly. And I know in the chat, you guys are sharing your thoughts on Seranthony.
Let's get a thumbs up for Skylar's birthday.
Definitely give us a thumbs up and a happy birthday, because Skylar's turning the big 05, which is an exciting time. You know I love birthdays. I know John Sequella, as you're mentioning, they can't just send Dominguez down. We've talked about that. He is obviously out of options, and so if they send them down, he'll have to clear waivers and yada yada yada. Listen, there's more than one way to
Somebody will take a shot on him. He makes no money.
There's more than one way. First of all,
He makes like
do you need to actually
2.7 or 3 million.
Do you need to keep him out of fear of losing him? No.
I think you do, because he's still throwing gas.
If you're trying,
you got to give him the Jose Alvarado chance to redeem.
Well, that's the other thing. There's other options. You don't have. It's not an all or nothing. There's always an in between. And I do feel like for Seranthony, give him some time. He hasn't been the same the last couple of seasons. Looking back to like 2022, we've seen him really up and down. And when he's bad, it's really bad. And that's not good for his confidence. That's not good for the team. But as you mentioned, there are still some positives. I do have some positive nuggets. I'm not just on here to vent.
There's a lot of positives.
There's tons of positives to take away from.
But Seranthony is not one of them.
Not at all. But again, it did help me keep in mind, like, okay, at the end of the day, we can literally pinpoint why the Phillies are losing. It's an easy fixable thing. I do want to trust that hopefully Rob is obviously seeing what we're seeing and not going to continue to go to Seranthony. Maybe he was like, last time versus the Reds, Might have been a fluke. We're going to run it back, try you again, and see if you can redeem yourself. Like, you see in so many times that coaches and managers it's not mind games, but they're trying to test and see what they can get. And we've tested Seranthony. He's failed. So let's move on from him, because I do feel like at the end of the day, how many times are you going to continue to have him throw game? And it's bad. It's bad mistakes. The wild pitch and Stubbs' throwing error too ended up killing him. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Just frustrating. Just absolutely frustrating.
Overall, pretty shitty way to end the game.
And the sad thing is, it takes away. I know Trevor Reister in the chat talking about Bohm, another 3 RBIs.
We got some
He's almost at 30 a month. Like, there are so many positives about this team, and the game itself started out well. You know, they jump out yet again.
Another first inning. I texted you guys right away. I was like, another first inning jump job.
Another game where the Phillies jumped out early, got a nice lead, which helped Christopher Sanchez, because he was, let's be honest, Sanchez hasn't been at his best the last 2 starts. He's
Ever since I said his changeups is one of the best pitches in baseball, he's been broken. My bad.
I know. You should have. Did you not go one?
I asked Jim Salisbury about it too, like last time.
Well, the Phillies have, at least, and I know they mentioned it on the broadcast last night, but 32 first inning runs this year. Their opponents have had 9 first inning runs this year. We talked about that yesterday. The Phillies have done a better job jumping out to a quicker start, not only on the season, but also in individual games. So yet again, we saw that last night where they jumped out to a good start. It was not, you saw moments, especially because of how the Angels were playing, where it was like, the Phillies should have capitalized. Like, loaded bases, a balk. Yeah. Like, so many mistakes.
Griffin Caney stinks.
So many mistakes that we saw. Griffin had a no good, very bad day. And the Phillies should have extended the lead even more. But they were still sitting comfortably. They were up by 3, and then it was a 4-2 game, and you just got a little nervous at that point.
Bryce just missed one that the guys talked about.
Yeah.
Like, one he's normally going to clobber, and he was kind of pissed at himself. Yeah, you know, they should have taken advantage of Caney early. They didn't. He didn't have his location, much like Christopher Sanchez didn't have his. Tyler has the hideous spray chart we'll show you in a second. But Caney was kind of asking to be rocked last night, and they couldn't do it. And they didn't put him out of his misery. No pitcher, even the relievers coming in, were getting many strike calls. No. I haven't looked at the umpire grade report card from today. I don't know if they were getting squeezed or what, or every pitcher just sucked last night. Orion was okay when he came in.
I'd like to see a little bit more from him, though.
He inherited runners in scoring position.
And he was one that I was kind of like, I took a mental note. Like, yesterday wasn't great.
No, it wasn't great,
but I was like,
okay,
it's justifiable, and I want to see more from him. So I'm keeping a close look on Orion, because he, to me, has been, as we know, it took him a while to even get back into his routine with the majors and working himself back from his injury and cold. So I'm gonna trust that that's just timing, and that he'll be fine too.
Yeah. Let's get to some of these Alec Bohm numbers, because you want to talk about positives. Alec Bohm is coming off the NL Player of the Week, which got announced yesterday, Renee. Mm-hmm. Back-to-back weeks for Philadelphia Phillies offensive players getting the Player of the Week. Trey Turner got it the week before. So this marks the first time the Phillies have had ownership of Player of the Week for 2 straight weeks since that magical summer of 2013 when Dominic Brown went on a absolute heater and won it in back-to-back weeks. It marks the first time 2 different Phillies players have won back-to-back weeks since Jason Worth and Ryan Howard did it in August 2009. That is very, very cool. Now, Alec Bohm is up to, this is wild. When I read this, I was like, is that right? Alec Bohm is up to 26 RBIs in April, with a chance to tie first place, which is Ryan Howard in 2011, who had 27 RBIs in the month. And then the club record, by the way, for any RBIs in a month is Ryan Howard had 41 RBIs in August of 2006 when he went on to win the NL Rookie of the Year award. Ryan Howard, one of the most underappreciated baseball players ever to come through this town. But Alec Bohm, right on his heels, can tie him today for the month RBI record. Alec Bohm, what can you say about this guy? He's fucking impressive. You know, like he just is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just love the fact that we're getting such a consistent, seasoned Alec Bohm. And I know we had talked yesterday about how impressive his numbers are, because the best part is he's still progressing each game. And to be now after, well, I don't know. I looked at this last night. It could have changed since then.
Oh, wait, it might be 29
Number
RBIs.
2,
I'm sorry.
It is 29.
This was a pregame note. You're right, Trevor Rice. Thank you. It is 29. So, yes, he has the month second most, because Howard's 41 is just insane.
It's a little high.
But he did eclipse Ryan.
What do you
Howard
mean? You don't think he's going to get 13 tonight?
I can't rule it out.
Drive in 13 runs.
Possible, guys. Give him a
3
chance.
grand slams and an RBI double.
Yeah.
Obviously,
but to have,
Jamie, come on.
3 RBIs last night. Yet again, another opportunity where Alec Bohm is stepping up in a moment. You've got guys on base, runners in scoring position, and you're delivering. And he's the reason why they've been off to such a great offensive start. Because you think about it, and I didn't track this, and I started to track some of these numbers. I was like, it's too much. How many times are we seeing Alec Bohm drive runners in the first inning? His first at bat. We saw it against the Padres. We saw it again yesterday. We've been seeing him consistently. His first at bat, he's helping to put the Phillies on the scoreboard. And then on top of that, he's already sitting top across the league, number 2 in RBIs across Major League Baseball, number 2 in doubles, number 5 in hits, and he's up there with the best of the best across the league. And for Alec Bohm to be someone that coming into this week was batting .365, .441, .615 with a 1.056 OPS. He is absolutely the hottest hitter right now. Now, what made me nervous, and I didn't think about this, but I was reading a piece. Matt Gelb did this piece, and he was talking about how Rob was mentioning essentially, yes, Alec's been great. Let's hope he can continue it, because on average, his exit velocity has been consistently in April the last few seasons on par for where he's at right now. And then typically he drops off when opponents start to adjust to him and he's unable to respond back.
Well, hopefully
I'm hoping
his lower chase rates and his whiff rates and all that selective aggression he talked about.
Because he is on pace for how hard he's been hitting the ball, but we do see him just his overall at-bats much steadier, much smarter, much cleaner. So I do feel like for Alec Bohm, we're getting he's playing like an all-star. And the confidence is there. What I would just like to see happen is let's continue to get some other guys. It's been Trey, who's also off to an all-star start. Yeah. It's been Alec. Brandon's been up and down. Bryce has been up and down. And that's baseball. I understand. It's only April. But I do want to see the offense give a little bit more, because it shouldn't just be right now Trey, Alec, and then the question mark of who's going to be the third guy that contributes. So 29 RBIs, insane. The hitting streak continues.
We're only a month away from June Schwarber, so that's going to be
that's true.
That's going to be just mark him down now for 12 home runs that month.
Yeah,
and probably 25 RBIs. I think Bryce is close. I feel like you've been saying that all year long. He just missed one last night. He had one of his turbo violent swings that would have sent a ball to Jupiter, and he just missed it. It was an inside pitch, and he was pissed. So I think he's going to be there any day now. Schwarber, this is Kyle Schwarber,
he's given us a much better start.
He might be the
most
most consistent guy in terms of pretty much knowing what you're going to get most of the time.
Well, when you think about
when you're going to get it.
When you think about it, partly why Alec's been able to get these RBIs is because Kyle and Trey and Bryce, of course, are consistently getting on base. That now it's typically Kyle's getting a single or a double, he gets on base, and he's moving faster, he's scoring runs. So it is great to see. And before we get into some numbers, I'll tell you guys about somewhere else you can go, because I know, Tyler, you've got some numbers for us, but somewhere else you can go to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and your family, and that's over at Rite Aid. Rite Aid is the place to go, especially right now during allergy season. We're all dealing with the runny nose, the congestion, the red watery eyes, the brain fog, all the symptoms that come with allergies. And over at Rite Aid, they have over-the-counter medication for you to be able to help make sure you're feeling good. Get that Flonase, get that Benadryl, that Zyrtec. Benadryl really helps you sleep well, too. Claritin, and take care of those allergies. But in addition to that, they have lots of other things for you that you can check out. They've got snacks, they've got drinks, they've got anything, cards. If you need that last-minute card or gift bag for a present, maybe it's your daughter's birthday and you're last minute looking to shop, you can go to Rite Aid and you can find their nice gift section that they've got.
I'm sure
bags
I'm going to need
things.
some tissue paper later today.
They always have the tissue.
I always forget about tissue paper.
I love the colorful tissue paper and bags and wrapping paper that they always have at Rite Aid. Rite Aid has a little bit of everything, whatever you need. And like I was saying yesterday, Tyler, you'll be ready. Are you ready for this? In addition to the medications, you can get vaccinations and immunizations because they also have vaccines for you.
Is that Nicki Minaj-ish?
I am.
All right.
Putting on my Nicki Minaj voice for you guys because they've got vaccines. Yes, with RSV, shingles. They've got COVID, the flu, all types of vaccinations that you can try out at your local Rite Aid. So head on over to your local Rite Aid or go to riteaid.com. Get the details. They've got trained professionals there to answer any questions you may have. You can make an appointment. You can walk in and you can just get the support that you need because, listen, this time of year, we want to be healthy. We want to protect our families. We want to be able to enjoy celebrating birthdays and wins and playoffs and other things going on right now without the cold and things. So head on over to Rite Aid. Get those medications and vaccinations, immunizations. Today at Rite Aid, the end.
Yes.
Your turn.
And last time, when Seranthony entered the mound, I should have just known to go to the fridge and get myself a cold, delicious Miller Lite. I should have predicted what was coming, and that's on me. So when Seranthony Dominguez enters the game, go get yourself a cold Miller Lite in the fridge. It's less filling and only 96 calories, and it might ease the pain of watching Seranthony pitch some. But it's the original light beer since 1975, and to this day, it's still the best one. When I close my eyes and imagine kind of tasting a cold beer, I taste Miller Lite because it just tastes like a light beer should taste. And when friends and family are around, spring and summertime are coming upon us, lots of gatherings, lots of barbecues, lots of Phillies games, lots of fun. It's always a little bit more fun with Miller Lite in your hand. So they keep it simple, which is a key. Undebatable quality, great taste, and only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer. What a novel concept. Less filling and only 96 calories. The original light beer since 1975. And you don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered directly to your door, go to MillerLite.com/PHLY Phils, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that is respectable and sells beer because pretty much every place has it. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than a premium regular beer.
All right. Well, there's nothing regular about this start that the Phillies are having. We all wanted a better start. And guys, regardless of the frustrations, we're getting it. The Phillies are off to their best start since 2011. They are top in the NL, top in a number of different categories, including home runs and OPS. First, fourth, they're top for a number of the important things, which is a huge swing because I remember us talking about them being towards the bottom and things, struggling to score runs, struggling to get on base. And those struggles are no more. Again, you are going up against an Angels team that has been struggling, and it's a shame to let one win squeak out. I know our own Baseball Paul on Twitter was talking about how from 2012 to 2022, only 2 opposing starters have walked at least 5 Phillies while striking out no more than 1. And then Griffin Canning last night became the 4th starting pitcher to do that. They had opportunities. They had opportunities to...
Impressive.
Really
Sometimes
impressive.
when you're going to suck, like lean into it and really suck, and that's really sucking.
Yes.
So that's good.
So they had opportunities last night. 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Obviously had the lead and then blew it. Obviously, we know that there were a lot of frustrations with the bullpen, and Rob should be straightened that. We'll talk to Jim about his thoughts on it as well. But something else that we did see, some questionable over-aggressive plays. I know Yoro, Brandon Marsh was getting caught in between. The Phillies are bringing the aggression, that's for sure. Sometimes to a fault. We saw it yet again. Johan Rojas sitting in the dugout, head down, frustrated because he back-to-back tried to steal second and got caught. Was just too many times we've seen this, that they have been overly aggressive, and it's something that's been frustrating because it's like, you're being stupid, that's dumb, why would you go there? But yet again, the Phillies are showing us that they're looking to be aggressive offensively. I always try to say I don't mind it, but then when I see those plays, I'm like, oh, but I kind of mind that.
Yeah,
I kind of mind it.
It's
I
the
kind of don't
age-old
like it.
debate, and Tyler, I'd love to hear your opinion on it too. I live with it because more often than not, I believe you benefit from it.
Right.
So I don't want to take the aggression out of a team on the base pass, but you have to be selectively intelligent with it. Like you can't go blind balls to the wall. You gotta put some brain on those balls. Tyler, I would love to hear your thoughts on
Why are
that.
you saying balls to the wall?
I'm sorry, you got to do what?
Put some brain on those balls.
No.
Okay. All right. I don't know.
It was a good analogy, guys. What
Can
are
we
you?
mute his mic?
I'm not
What
sure.
are you guys talking about?
I'm not sure how we come back from that.
Right,
Tyler,
on
Phillies
that note,
aggression.
Tyler, do your best to recover from.
So-
and you had other nuggets. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to come back to you
Oh,
after
that was
our
all
ad
stuff. That
reads.
was all stuff we had already talked about. So that's all good. So the thing with the, I texted you guys in the group chat yesterday, like specifically with, specifically with Johan Rojas last night being picked off of first. I do want to say this. Griffin Canning has a really good move, especially for a righty. Your feet have to be quick, and you've got to be deliberate with your move because you're not looking at the runner. I thought he had a really, really good move last night. So I got to give, I tipped the cap to him on that one. Well done. When it comes to base running, I have no issue with caught stealing within the context, right? I can't just blanket say I don't have no issue with caught stealing, period. But as long as you're not running into a third out,
Sure.
you're not getting thrown out at third base to end the inning. You're not running into an out where you have Bryce Harper or Alec Bohm up and in a crucial spot. I am not going to fault you if you're trying to take an extra bag. So if you get caught stealing, you get a good jump. You just get like Gabby Moreno's throwing guys out left and right for the Diamondbacks right now. You get thrown out by Gabby Moreno.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Logan O'Hoppy's done a good job of throwing runners out this year.
Yeah,
you get thrown out by Logan O'Hoppy, it is what it is. Being picked off of first base is where I have an issue. Being picked off, period, is where I have an issue. So I think that I'm not going to complain if you get caught stealing. I am going to complain if you get caught leaning and then get picked off.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It is tough. It is tough. I know you guys are talking about the Braves. We'll talk about them. They did lose. They did actually get a loss
That was
yesterday too.
impressive.
Walk-off loss. The Mariners. And then, of course, Jay's talking about anyone else struggling with the late night games. Jay, I don't know if you missed it, but we mentioned that in the beginning. These games that are this 9:38 start time is very frustrating. This morning, I was like, I felt like I haven't slept in so long.
What time did you wake up? I'm going to be jealous here.
I'm not going to tell you.
Just.
Well, okay, I couldn't sleep. You know have you ever slept so bad that your covers are just all over the place? Like I'm a very peaceful sleeper.
Oh, I am not. My feet have to be out, so I'm kicking up the bottom of the bed.
So this is not, you can't relate.
No, I can't relate.
I'm a very peaceful sleeper. I'm like,
Oh God,
and then
no.
today
I am a violent.
I woke up like every hour, starting
Usually
at like
a pillow's
5.
on the floor because I start with 2, and then I usually chuck one. Blankets are everywhere. It's a mess.
You're consistent. You're consistent.
Yeah. But what time did you wake up?
The first time 5, and then I woke up like every hour, and then I kept waking up like
What time did
jumping
you get
up.
out of bed?
9 for our 11 o'clock show.
9?
I live 15 minutes from here.
It's pretty nice.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I actually
I was already on my way here.
I think Paige woke up
Must be
screaming
nice.
murder at 4:30. Addie was able to get her back to sleep, and then she woke up for good at 6:30. And then I was making pancakes by 7:15. So, different mornings.
Totally
I'm just
different.
jealous.
Totally
I like to
different
live
experiences.
vicarious through people sleeping sometimes.
I could not sleep, and then I kept waking up, and I'm big on clocks, and I kept like staring at the clock, like what time is it? What time is it? I felt so off because I don't stay up this late on a work night.
That was late. Yeah, it was late. It was a late evening.
And then Mickey, I was watching the Lakers. And not only was I watching the Phillies lose, I had to see the Lakers. And yes, LeBron deserves better, guys. And I'm staying on that hill. But we're not going to talk about that right now because our buddy Jim has to get on and join us in a moment.
The Sixers got to draft Bronny Jr. and get LeBron here. That might be their only option.
Jeez. I know. Well, maybe if they can afford him, Jamie, they might need to do some financial digging.
They can because Tobias Harris is no longer going to be here, and even the people over at TrueMark Financial can tell you getting $40 million off the salary cap is going to open up a lot of money. But TrueMark Financial Credit Union is a local company right here in our backyard. And I'm huge on supporting those local companies that actually, I don't know, care about people in the area, employ people in the area, have an investment in the community, unlike these nameless, faceless banks all over the place. They don't care. They barely employ people around here. TrueMark is headquartered right here in Fort Washington. They have tons of branches all over, 24 exact, in the Philadelphia area. And they serve our community and our people right here at home. And becoming a member of a credit union has so many benefits, including over being a customer at a bank. It's a total no-brainer. Better rates, lower fees, and a better return on savings, and more flexible spending options with all of the technological and digital tools that you're used to. So head over to truemark.com/PHLY to learn more or to find a branch near you. That's truemark.com/PHLY, federally insured by the NCUA.
And it was Joel Embiid and Kelly Oubre at a shoot-around because they were dealing with some stomach problems?
Joel Embiid has a migraine, and I suffer from migraines, and they are no effing joke. So hopefully it's a minor one that he's okay with. And then I'm pretty sure Kelly Oubre has diarrhea.
Well, you know what could help with that diarrhea, Kelly Oubre, and get your digestive health in check? Olipop. That's why I asked.
Yeah.
Because Olipop is the world's first functional soda with a classic soda taste, the benefits of plant-based fiber, prebiotics, and other botanical ingredients to support your gut health. It keeps you on the court. So now, Game 5, a possible elimination game, you can be out there playing with your team if you just drink some Olipop. Now, over at Olipop, it is a new kind of soda with only 2 to 5 grams of sugar per can, around 9 grams of fiber per can, and lots of delicious flavors for you. I was just tweeting about them this morning because Olipop gives you a lot of options. You've got the classic root beer, the orange squeeze, classic grape, strawberry vanilla, cream soda, cherry cola, and Dr. Goodwin, and many more that you can buy and check out yourself because they're sold across 30,000 stores nationwide that you can find them on the shelves of Wawa, Wegmans, ShopRite, GoPuff, Target, Sprouts, or even online on Amazon or on drinkolipop.com. So today, use that code PHLY20, get 20% off your next Olipop order for any one-time orders, not subscription orders. Get your gut health in check, get feeling good, and make sure that you can always be ready to be in the game when you're drinking Olipop. All right, let's get going with our buddy Jim Salisbury. Our dear friend is back joining us yet again. It is Tuesday. It's Jim Day. Jim, yesterday, not a great finish for the Phillies. Of course, another game they jumped out early. They've been doing a tremendous job outscoring opponents in the first inning. It felt like the game was going well, that they could really put the pressure on the Angels, who have been struggling. And then Seranthony Dominguez took the mound. Not a great performance for him. What are your thoughts on the options that the Phillies have for how they should go about moving forward, utilizing Seranthony?
Arm fatigue.
What did you say, Jamie?
Arm fatigue, IL, Lehigh Valley, fake an injury. Get down there.
Well, the former Mets GM got in some trouble for making up injuries and putting guys on the IL a couple of years ago. But I know what you're saying. I don't think they're there yet. Maybe, he's got 5 years of service time, so you're not going to send him to the minors. I've heard people kind of suggest that, but he had a really good outing the time before in San Diego. But I think you can work on him here. He's throwing 96, 98. It leads me to believe that he's not injured. I mean, that's pumping it pretty good. Usually velocity will tell you if a guy is injured. I just, watching that game last night, it just seems like, his confidence is down. And that's going to happen anytime you're not having success. Your confidence is going to wane. That's just human nature. You do something well, you're going to be confident. And you need confidence to execute pitches and to be a good baseball player, to be a good athlete. I think it kind of is probably mechanical. And I'm not a pitching coach, but, I watched some of his misses. Last night, for example, he'd miss up and in on a righty. Flying open maybe. and then he'd try to overcompensate and he'd pull one away to a righty. So he's missing up here, he's missing down there, almost like he's trying to hypercorrect. So it just seems like he's in a mix-up, maybe mechanically. And I think that would probably be something maybe they could go to work on in bullpen settings, at 2:30 in the afternoon. You give him, he's not available a couple nights, and you try to work some things. But it is kind of a mystery. It's a little troubling because he's an important guy. We've seen what he can do in some postseason. It's been dynamic. But guys are getting better swings on him. The opponent's batting average is really high. The opponent's OPS is really high. I mean, he doesn't seem to be instilling fear into a lot of hitters. And, that wild pitch last night was a turning point. And there was a lot to that wild pitch, in my opinion. I mean, they were one strike away from getting out of that inning. And he uncorks that wild pitch. Stubbs is setting up upstairs in the strike zone. He wants a high strike out of the strike zone pretty much, at the top or out. Almost looked like he was up and in, and the pitch missed blown away. He really missed his spot badly. And, with the new way guys catch on one knee, it's impossible for Stubbs to get to that ball and smother it. And then they had a mental breakdown in the infield. Somebody's got to back that up to prevent Mike Trout from coming around and moving up 2 bases. So, yeah, it's a head scratcher because Seranthony is a real important guy for this roster. But I don't know what the remedial action is. He needs some success and to rebuild his confidence. My guess is it probably starts, at the big league level with some work in the bullpen, because I just haven't seen indications that he's hurt. But again, who knows? Things can come out of nowhere, as you suggest, so they could try to remedy some things. So we will see.
So, Jim, the Spencer Turnbull, we're getting our last look again as a starter here. It's a 1-week opportunity because of the way the schedule goes. Is it safe to presume that Spencer Turnbull is probably going to take over the Seranthony Dominguez role of, I don't want to say middle relief, but like the non-high leverage kind of in-between guy there? Do you think he's going to just slide in and kind of take that role?
I think he's built a workload, so they probably envision him as a multi-inning middle guy. I thought in a lot of ways that situation for Seranthony last night was leverage. What inning was it? 7th inning?
7th, yeah. That was a decent leverage, yeah.
It was 4-4.
Yeah.
7th inning. Hugely important inning. I thought that was leverage. So I think they'll probably try to utilize him, build on the fact that he's developed a bit of a workload here, and he can give you 4, 5, 6 outs if you need him. Maybe he becomes a piggyback situation at times, not cast in stone, but at times with a guy like Christopher Sanchez or Taijuan Walker, who, neither one of those guys are pitching deeply into games. So I think there's a lot of ways you can utilize him. I think it's very interesting they're giving him another start. Makes a lot of sense to me. Hey, why not ride a hot hand a little longer and give Wheeler 1 extra day and Nola 2 extra days? Because this is a team that has its expectations on playing in October, and you're probably going with a 3-man rotation in October, and that's really the strength of your team: Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, and those 3 guys, I believe, are already in the top 5 in innings pitched in the National League. So I think if you can trim a little bit at the end, a little snip here, a little snip here, makes the rows stand a little taller at the end. So. And you have a hot hand like Spencer Turnbull who allows you to do that. So I would imagine they're not going to go 6-man. They're going 6-man this week, but they'll not do it consistently. But there'll be a time or two during the year where they drop a 6-man in to optimize rest for their big 3. Because like I said, the prize is in October for this team. And if you can save a bullet or two to keep those guys healthy, optimize health, it's a really good thing. But Turnbull's made a really excellent contribution. $2 million. He's almost already Guy did stuff paid for himself, right? So he's gonna be an important guy tonight, and he's gonna be an important guy all season long. And it's nice to know he can do it if you need him, because there are question marks at the back of the rotation. So I am not fretting this 6 men for 5 spots at all. I think it's a good thing.
Definitely good problems to have, and it's interesting because as you bring up, Jim, we've all been talking about Spencer Turnbull connected to Taijuan Walker, but as you mentioned, it could also be in some way connected to Christopher Sanchez, who, as we saw against the Reds, was only able to go 3 innings and give up 5 runs. Last night did go 5 innings, but still has been struggling a little bit. So there's a lot of options there, and absolutely great problems to have. But as you talk about, guys that are standing out, let's shift gears a little bit off of the pitching staff and talk about one, as he just racked up NL Player of the Week, following up Trey Turner, who did it last week. This is the first time the Phillies have had back-to-back Player of the Week honors since 2013. Alec Bohm has been phenomenal. He's been, we've been hearing a lot about over the years how they've been trying to get him to work on different aspects of his at-bats, his third base play, and it feels like it's all clicking for him. I know in the chat, people were calling him definitely an all-star. He's top of the league in a number of categories. Mm-hmm. What do you really think is his ceiling? Because we've seen in the past, in April, his exit velocity, his numbers look good in April, the last 2 seasons, and then drop down as opponents adjusted to him. Can he sustain this all season? Do you think he has the turning of the corner for Alec Bohm to solidify himself as that consistent top player, not only for the Phillies, but even across the league as a right-handed batter?
Yeah, I do think we're seeing turning of the corner, to use your expression. I think he has had sort of this breakout month 1 of 2024, and there's no reason it can't be a breakout season, because he is armed with talent. He's a good player. He's got a good head on his shoulders, and he has shown a great aptitude for improvement, becoming better on the job, and now he's armed with that magic potion called confidence. He believes he belongs here. He believes he can do it, and we're seeing it on both sides of the ball. I know he made a tough error in, San Diego the other day. It was a tough play. It could have gone either way. I think it was an error. I think a big league third baseman probably makes it, but he will make that eventually because he's just going this way. He's getting better all the time. We've seen amazing growth from him over the last couple of years as, a young man, a human being, and a baseball player. I watch him. I love when he hits a double, stands on second base and does this and has a big smile on his face. I see a guy who's enjoying the heck out of playing the game. And, in the spring of 2022, I didn't always see that. I didn't see spring training. I didn't see a guy who was enjoying playing the game. He was struggling. I think he sensed management was on the fence about him, whether he was going to go to AAA, whether Stott was going to be their opening day third baseman, which actually was a possibility briefly in 2022. I felt like he was not believing in himself, wondering if the organization believed in him. Well, now he believes in himself. The organization clearly believes in him. You look at the offensive stats in the National League, I think he's in the top 5, like in every meaningful category. Mm-hmm. He's been a good hitter with runners on base since day one. He's got this real ability to slow things down. He's a very selective hitter. He was in college. That was one of the things that attracted them to him in the draft, his selectivity. And it's really fun to watch kind of a guy blossom and explode and just put it all together. It is a lot of fun. He's having an unbelievable trip. I think he's got 18 hits on this trip. Half of them are extra base hits. So 8 games in, he's got 18 hits, half are extra base hits. So 18 hits on a road trip. To put that in perspective, Nick Castellanos has 19 hits for the season. So he's having a hell of a trip. He should really be proud of the way he's putting things together because it's come through a lot of hard work. And I think the organization and their coaching staff, Kevin Long on the hitting side, Bobby Dickerson on the infield play side, and just Rob Thompson and the front office for instilling a feeling of, hey, you're our guy, we believe in you, and now it's just manifesting. It's really cool to see.
I heard you tell the story with Todd and Ruben about 2022, and he was almost traded, you believe. I don't know if he was almost traded. I mean, teams were inquiring and they were taking calls, I guess I should say.
Yeah, and I think they do that on a lot of guys. But And I don't ever think they were in a situation where they were going to give away Alec Bohm. If you were going to ever make him available for a trade, it was going to be for a significant piece of talent in return, maybe some young pitching or something. But there was too much chatter for me to not believe that their ears were open in the right deal, because he was an unproven player at the time. Now we're looking at a proven player, or a player that is really speeding on an express train toward being proven. You mentioned All-Star.
Austin Riley down in Atlanta. I was just going to say, Austin Riley down in Atlanta kind of had some struggles early on in his career, even went to left field a little bit, came back, and now these two are, I don't know, probably your top 2 third basemen in the NL All-Star if they were to conduct votes today.
I love Austin Riley. I mean,
he's a hell of a player.
Hell of a player. I mean, you watch him have those at bats. He's very, calm and composed at the plate. He drives the ball. I mean, he's had 3 great years. I mean, he was a kid that could have been drafted as a pitcher too.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was. If you can get Austin Riley out of this, I mean, oof. I don't know that he's there yet, but I think Alec Bohm, through 4 or 5 weeks of the season, is on a crash course with the All-Star game. But again, it's baseball. It's every day. And you got to do it over and over and over and be consistent. But a lot of good ingredients there with Alec Bohm. And one of them is, or two of them are, his aptitude to improve, his ability to improve and get better. And his work ethic, his ability to look in the mirror and say, I need to get better here. And then, go out and do it. He's got a good support system. He utilizes them well. And he's been really probably their best player, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely. I mean, Alec and Trey have absolutely been on a tear, looking like all-stars so far to start off the season. Before we let you go, Jim, have to ask, though, your thoughts, because there are some guys that are still working things out. Nick Castellanos, we've seen coming out of his slump. We've seen, obviously, Bryson Stott even had, his first ever career multi-homer game. They're working through it, but there's that next tier of guys, Bryson and Nick, Johan Rojas, who we call Yoro. Just going to keep floating that nickname out there if you want to. Yoro, that can give you a lot, but just struggling a bit right now with the consistency and possibly even the confidence. What are your thoughts on that next group of guys outside of the usual suspects for the Phillies?
Yeah, and I don't even think Bryce Harper has really gotten hot yet. I think at some point we're going to look up and go, oh, wow, he just had a Bryce Harper month. So, that's the way baseball season goes. You got 9 men in your lineup, and, you get 3 of them hot at one time and a couple warm, you're doing pretty good. And, when another group kind of cools, the other group warms up, and, everybody picks each other up. And the ebbs and flows of a baseball season and the ebbs and flows of a lineup within that season. I still think Nick's going to get going and have a good run here. He hit a home run in San Diego, which was a good thing on Friday night. And then, his at-bat seemed to be getting a little better. Stott had a 2 home run game on Sunday. And Castellanos preceded both of those home runs with walks and long at-bats. And, these guys, they're in the on-deck circle. They're on the bench. They're watching video. They're paying attention to what that pitcher's doing to batters before them. So, Castellanos, I think, saw 15 pitches on those 2 walks before the Stott home runs. So that's a really great team concept. He helped Stott there. He helped Stott get a little bit of a read on Michael King, the pitcher. And I think that helped Stott. A little familiarity in the batter's box, hits 2 home runs. So in addition to getting a glimpse at the pitcher from the on-deck circle, they're grinding type at bats that can fatigue a pitcher just that much, just a teeny bit in the moment where he might make a little mistake and Stott can jump on it. So though maybe it didn't show up in the box score that day, I thought Castellanos had really good at bats and really did a great job contributing to that win. So you can see incremental progress, and it's really getting hot here. Maybe he's a Miami guy. Maybe that'll get him going, when they get home here. We'll see.
Yeah, Jim, last one for you. Christopher Sanchez, this might be my fault because I think 2 weeks ago when you were on, I said his changeup is becoming one of MLB's best pitches. The 2 starts since, his changeup has been a little off. Road trip woes or something to keep an eye on going forward?
I think it's the Jamie Lynch jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Hit him, Renee.
I agree. I told him the same thing. He didn't knock on wood.
My bad, everyone.
There you go. I think there's a lot there. We could talk for 10 minutes about that, and I'm sure you don't want to hear that. But it's a young pitcher. He's going to have his ups and downs. The changeup is a tough pitch. It's a touch and feel pitch, and some days it might not feel good, and some days it might feel great. Some days you're executing it, some days you're not. It's a fickle pitch. Baseball's a fickle game. He's a young pitcher, still feeling things through. He's not going to be lights out every day, but definitely had trouble. You could tell he didn't have it last night because he didn't throw it a lot. It didn't seem.
It was the season low for him last night.
It was a season low. Yeah, he didn't throw it a lot last night. Started relying on that sinker, and it seemed to be one of those nights. But when he has it, I think he has the ability to get some swing and miss, and then start it maybe right at the edge of the plate and try to fade it off the plate and really getting some swing and miss. But one of the things there, you kind of got to get ahead in the count too. You got to work ahead in the count to get to that pitch. I even think that was a problem for Seranthony, not getting ahead in the count at times, though he was 0-2 when he threw the wild pitch. So it's a crazy thing, pitching. It's a crazy game, baseball.
Yeah.
I still think Sanchez is, he's going to be this team's number 4 or 5 guy. There's a lot of ability there, but I don't think he's even close to a finished product. So some nights you're going to have games where he's going to need some run support and need some help from the bullpen. But that changeup, I'll come back. Your scouting report, I don't think was, off base. It's pretty darn good pitch, but you need other things to help set it up.
Sure.
Yeah, you need some especially command of the fastball.
Yeah.
Definitely, Jim. You're absolutely right. We appreciate you so much for taking time, as always, to jump on and chat with us and share your thoughts on the team. Overall, as we've said, the Phillies are off to a much better start than they have been in even recent years, the best start since 2011. So a lot to be positive about individually and collectively as a team that we're seeing from them. And it's great to have you to jump on and weigh in with us on how they've been starting off the season.
Hey, my pleasure. They are off to an excellent start. And tonight we got a doubleheader, the Sixers and the Phillies. What do you think, Sixers?
I hope the Sixers put me out of my misery, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm there.
Oh, wow.
That's where I'm at.
No.
I already called a gentleman sweep, so I wasn't expecting much from game 4 or 5 for the Sixers, unfortunately.
All right. Well,
Are you optimistic?
I'll give you my prediction tomorrow.
Okay.
Feels like you're more optimistic than we are, Jim.
I'm just going to enjoy watching the game.
There you go. That's a good way to go about it, of just not being too caught up into it emotionally and just enjoying some good basketball, hopefully.
Why not?
Yes. Well, great double.
That Brunson kid he's a gamer.
That was a hell of a game the other day.
He steps up. He steps up when the lights are brighter. That's a good thing. We need some more guys like that. But either way, going to be a fun doubleheader today, hopefully. So thank you, Jim. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.
Jim.
Take care, guys.
All right. Well, as Jim was talking through and just sharing some of the numbers, it is remarkable when you look at, as he was mentioning, Alec Bohm specifically, 18 hits in this road trip, 8 of those being doubles, 11 being RBIs. On the other side, not so good numbers, as we've been talking about. Seranthony, he did, of course, have the game versus the Padres where he didn't give up any hits. But then you look at 2 out of the last 3 games, 5 hits he's given up, 6 runs he's given up. Hasn't been good for him. Christopher Sanchez, another one that we talk about that's been up and down ever since you jinxed him.
Yeah, it's my bad. I'll fall
and I know, Tyler, you've got some Sanchez numbers. What you got for us?
Yeah, I think that because somebody tweeted this at me too, and they were like, "Yeah, Sanchez stinks," and I'm like,
No, he doesn't.
"Listen, Sanchez has had some command issues over the last 2 starts, but he far from stinks. And in fact, since the start of 2023, he has made 25 starts, including the 1 start in the playoffs against Arizona. Yes, he only went 2 1/3, but he did start that game, so I guess we have to kind of count that. He's made 25 starts since the beginning of 2023. He has given up 2 earned runs or less." 16 out of those 25 starts.
That's really impressive.
He's been very good.
Yeah.
Wow. That's wild. And I know also K-Red always comes in the chat bringing the fashion reviews for our outfits of the day. A lot of blue today, actually. You and Tyler are definitely both in the light blue trail. I'm in pink, not orange, but I do see
People
where it's kind of close.
Knicks colors.
It is looking a little, when I see it on the screen, it does look a little bit closer, but it was more, I was going more springy vibes, you know, like pink.
It's a little more salmon in person. On the screen, it looks a little Knicks-ish.
Yeah, it's the cameras, because it's definitely pink. So, sorry, I wouldn't do that. But either way, thank you guys for the outfit comments. I am a little concerned, Jamie, because outside of all of this, not only are you out here jinxing Christopher, but you're also wearing pants.
They're very light material.
Is there something you want to tell us? They think
no,
that are you out of shorts?
It might be just
Laundry time?
laziness where my belt was. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you just don't get motivated to change the belt.
Wait.
You're just like, whatever. Belt's
Oh, like
on
these
those.
already had a belt in them? And
Yeah,
so
they
you
were hanging up on my hook.
Oh.
And I just went, yeah, that's easy. The less I have to think about what I'm going to wear, like I would totally become Steve Jobs. Like just give me a daily uniform.
Oh.
Like, yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Maybe not to like that extreme, but give me like 2 or 3 options so I can just grab one and like not think too hard.
Okay, fair. That's how you operate in life. You don't want to have to like.
Well, sometimes I walk downstairs and my wife is like, "No, go back upstairs." No, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Those colors don't go to." Like I'm just. Sometimes I send the girls to school and my mother-in-law will pick them up and be like, "Nice outfit today," and I'm like,
You do experiment with some colors.
Yeah, a little.
And like.
By experiment, you mean don't think? Yes.
And some patterns.
And sometimes I let my daughters dress themselves because I don't care. Like, you don't have to look cute every day. If they want to dress themselves, there's a certain confidence that comes from that.
I was going to say, they're young enough that, like, let them, this is the time.
Even in kindergarten next year, if you want to dress yourself some days, who gives a damn, you know?
Wear all the colors in the world.
If you want to be a little Frankenstein from Big Daddy and wear rain boots and...
I'm going to say, 2 different shoes, pants over short, or shorts over
socks,
pants.
whatever, who cares?
Yeah. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm trying to figure it out, too. Dark blue, they're not capris. I've been trying to figure out the last 2 days why Jamie's
I got these from
pants.
consignment. And Mopar, I think, said Jamie looks like he wears Lululemon. These were consignment Lululemon, $30.
I was gonna say on a discount. Okay,
$30. Look at me.
I see how you're bargain shopping.
Yeah, and Lululemon is extremely comfortable. I know there's other brands right now, but yes, Lulu.
Wow.
Hashtag.
All right, and then last thing that I've got, I was going to hit on some of the other MLB scores, but something that was more pressing, guys. Cheesesteak conversation keeps coming up in the chat.
Jim's is opening today again.
And what kind of cheese do you get on your cheesesteaks?
Oh, I'm a whiz wit.
Ugh.
Well, Renee's a notorious...
You don't get to ask about what kind of cheese people put on their cheesesteak when you're eating
I actually
no
get
cheese.
provolone cheese or American on mine.
So
but it
you
can't
like
be a
cheese.
lot, though. Like, I kind of scrape some of it off and put a lot of ketchup on it. It can't ever be the strongest ingredient. Like, I can't notice the cheese. Like, Whiz is overwhelming.
Oh, Whiz is delightful.
I got it one time in college
Where
on
did
a night
cheesesteak
out,
talk
and I
come
wanted
from?
to vomit. I think it was HK in the chat.
Is it Jim's? Because Jim's is reopening today after their fire, so maybe it came from that.
We had Jim on the show, Jimmy Steaks. Jim's is reopening. I don't know. People
Best
on a
smell in
cheesesteak.
the world, 4th and South, when you're walking by there. I used to walk the dog because we used to live right there. So I would take the dog up that way, like Bainbridge and South Street, and I would just walk by and get to the corner and go, take a big hit of that cheesesteak and fried onion smell coming out the exhaust.
I love the sound of it too.
Baby.
The onion sizzling.
The best.
It's making me want a cheesesteak now. But other
I want a cheesesteak now.
I haven't had a cheesesteak in a while.
I might go drive and get a cheesesteak for lunch.
I actually haven't had a good
go down to
cheesesteak
Angelo's.
in a minute. I don't get cheesesteaks as much. I feel like we get almost like spoiled because we live in a city of great cheesesteaks.
Ishka Bibble's chicken cheesesteak is really good.
Love a good cheesesteak.
Damn it. You guys totally just inceptioned me into getting
Sorry.
a cheesesteak today.
That was easy.
Yeah, it was.
All right, so to wrap up, and I know
Cooper
Jim, you
Sharp.
had
Hell yeah, Kim. Hell yeah, Kim. Cooper Sharp, baby. If I'm going to Angelo's, it's Cooper Sharp. If I go to one of the touristy, and I do that in quotes.
Yeah, 'cause I don't like the touristy ones.
Well, there's no bad cheesesteaks in this area, really. I go Whiz there. But if I'm going Angelo's or like mom and pop shop, I'll go Cooper Sharp.
I think that's a first name. Jim Steve's, Angelo's.
Jim's
Pat's,
was my
Gino's,
first.
It's all first names.
That was my.
I always tell people
You
that.
always remember your first, as they say, Renee. Jim's
Is that
was.
what they say?
Yeah, that's what they say.
Is that what they say, JB? Tyler's
Jim's
like,
was my first. So yeah, never forget your first.
when in doubt, go to a place that's a first name. If it's not a name,
Joe's.
correct.
Yeah.
See, I know. That's what I tell to work. Anytime people come to sit, I'm like, just go to a steak
John's,
place that's
roast
just
pork.
a first name. It doesn't need to be anything else. It just needs to be a first name, typically like an Italian name or whatever. All right. Elsewhere around the league, we saw quite a start for the Orioles. Yankees. The Orioles coming off of some frustration because Craig Kimbrell blew 2 back-to-back saves for them. But they did have a down-to-the-wire game where they edged out the Yankees. You have top teams in the AL clashing, top in ERA, top in OPS, down in Baltimore. As we all talked about, the Braves did lose. They were in the midst of a no-hitter, and there was a walk-off.
Not only did they just lose, Renee, they lost in spectacular fashion.
We love that. We love that.
We love to see that. I actually have the win probability chart from the game last night, and this after the Phillies lost. Now the Braves did lose before the Phillies lost.
Yes.
This put a little bit of a smile on my face because there's the Braves' chances to win until the 9th inning. Wowie, wow. That is demoralizing. Max Fried went 7 hitless before he was pulled, and they blew the game. They themselves were getting no hit, I think, until the 6th when Acuna.
It was both teams were on a no-hitter track.
Pretty wild. So great loss by the Braves last night. You love to see it.
Yeah. And then around the league, the Twins are on the midst of their own winning streak. They got a win yesterday. I think it's 8 in a row. Yep, 8 in a row that they have now. They beat the White Sox, but they won. A win is a win is a win is a win.
Everybody beats the
Everybody's
White Sox.
beating the White Sox.
Hashtag
It's
free
fine.
herb.
The Mets finally
No,
seem like
that's not true.
No, they did actually
The Tampa
win.
Bay Rays don't beat the White Sox.
Didn't they win like
they-
3 in a row? Or
Yeah, they
something?
swept the Rays.
They swept the Rays.
Wow,
that's wild.
why.
That's a
geez.
Tommy Pham effect.
I think we got to start to realize, Jamie, because you and I are both super high on Kevin Cash as a manager.
Yeah.
The Rays are not good.
Yeah.
They're a bad baseball team this year.
Well, they won yesterday. They beat the Brewers 1-0.
As long as Paredes can pick it up fantasy-wise, that's all I need.
Yeah.
We're playing each other this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we are. The Mets have finally cooled off. They lost to the Cubs, and the Nats did beat the Marlins. That was a wild game, too. But it's great to see. I was following all these scores because my guys are out here. Ironically enough, guys, yesterday, I was pulling the top lists of home runs, RBIs, doubles, all these great offensive stats because I want to see where Alec Bohm stacked up. And I literally saw of the top 10 guys with home runs, the top 10 across the league in home runs, about 4 of them are on my fantasy team.
Congratulations on all your success.
And I
man.
played JB this week, so
I put up a big 0 spot last night, so I'm off to a good start.
this has been fun.
a
You're the
long
White
week.
Sox.
It's a long week.
You're the White Sox of our league.
And by the way, I will say, I think it may be a little bit unfair to say that the Rays stink because if you look at their depth chart right now, injury. And so here's who they're missing currently on the IL. Shane
What's
Baz.
Wander Franco listed as? Pederass? Designated for being a pederass. Scumbag. Yeah.
we don't tolerate that.
Tyler always, his head just sinks when I...
Speak.
Yeah. Yeah. So you weren't on camera that time, Tyler, but so people didn't get to see your deflation.
People always see our reactions. I need them to see more of yours because Tyler is back there banging his head, what is happening here? Rolling his eyes at us over and over again. I think every time you roll your eyes, you need to put yourself on camera.
Is Eflin on the DL?
No.
Is he the one guy in the rotation that's surviving?
Now I don't know, to be quite
I
honest.
love Jersey Mike's. Not you guys in here dragging Jersey Mike's.
I've never
just
had
them
Jersey
on
Mike's.
Sunday.
No,
What?
he's not, by the way.
Eflin's healthy.
Yes.
Oh, he's like the one.
So Pete Fairbanks, Shane Baz, Jonathan Aranda. Taylor Wells is on the 60. I don't know when he's going to, if or when he's going to play. Josh Lowe, Johnny DeLuca, all on the 10 or 15-day IL.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's been tough for the Rays health-wise. And so maybe stinks is unfair, but they've not played well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not great. All right, so injuries will do that to you. That's a shame. That's a shame. I'm a little disappointed in all this discussion about Jersey Mike's not being good. They are really good.
I like
it's
the
better
Danny
than
DeVito
Wawa.
commercials.
Oh yeah, they're fine.
I like how they're kind of like the sloppy hoagie where they like throw the
but
oil
that's
and
what's
vinegar
good about
on.
them
Yeah,
because their
I like
hoagies
that.
aren't. First of all, it's not like sometimes the bread is too firm. I was trying to think of a word to say that with it. I was like, the bread is too hard, Jamie. Okay, or they don't have enough meat. Gosh darn it.
Keep going.
But Jersey Mike's sandwiches are like the perfect combination.
Okay.
Like enough oil and mayo and stuff like that. But it's not like overwhelmingly juicy.
Yeah.
But it's like a good
I like
mixture.
a sloppy
and
vinegar.
it's got a lot of meat. Yeah, me too. Me too. Like I
vinegar hoagie.
want to take a bite and it all just kind of like sinks
Yeah.
together. Oh, I just
love
had Jersey
bagged
Mike's
lettuce
Sunday.
too. You haven't heard my sometimes I just crave like cheap bagged lettuce.
You just eat it out the bag?
No, like on a hoagie, but
Oh,
like that
okay.
you know when you can tell it's bagged.
Yeah. I don't need it to be like this sliced up stuff.
Yeah, it's nostalgic.
But I
for
do
me.
like a nice fresh hoagie. Oh, I want to get a sandwich now.
I'm getting real hungry.
They have good cheesesteaks too at Jersey Mike's.
We're going out for
Mike's,
dinner. We're
holler
going
at
out to
me.
dinner for Skylar's birthday. So my wife must be watching because she just texted me and said, "Hey, fat ass, you can get a cheesesteak tonight at dinner." She didn't call me fat ass. Though.
Oh, hi, Addie.
Yeah. So maybe I'll save the cheesesteak for dinner. But the seed has been
What is
planted.
my problem? What am I getting attacked for? Not liking cheese? I don't
Needs
even know.
more
I'm
meat in
I'm
her
catching
steak.
strays over here. What did I do? All I was talking about was because I said Jersey Mike's is better than Wawa. Maybe that might be a little testy. I know.
yeah.
But I love Wawa hoagies too. It's just a different taste. So I have taste for
What's your go-to Wawa order?
Italian. I'm getting Italian with
Well, no,
bacon on it. We had this conversation.
Not hoagie specific.
Oh, but that's what I always get.
Chicken finger bowls, mac and cheese.
You know what's actually
soup.
really good? They have like a really good, it's almost like a chopped up steak or chicken bowl with the rice and beans, basically Chipotle. That's really good. I do get that every once in a while, but every time I go to Wawa, I get...
Tyler lit up over there.
All right, the Flyers need the studio in 45 minutes. Let's wrap this thing up.
It's an Italian hoagie. I highly recommend this, guys. This is my last take, and then we go. Italian hoagie with bacon on it. So you get it tastes like a BLT mixed with an Italian hoagie. It's so good. Your taste buds will thank you. I
take
love
it under
bacon.
advisement.
Lots of meat. Very juicy, very good. And then you can get like an icy with it. That's like my go-to thing. And like a hot dog, of course.
Man, Jay says trash take, Renee.
Oh my God.
Let's get a
I'm
thumbs
getting
up for
attacked.
Renee's trash take.
Go back to Jersey. Wow, you guys look real fast. Well, I was going to say it's been fun chatting with you, but apparently not. I don't like quesadillas.
Dave. Oh, I love quesadilla.
See, why would I like quesadillas, though?
Because you like cheese.
I don't like cheese. Wow, okay. I do always hear the quesadillas at Wawa are good. So you guys enjoy your lunch, whatever you're getting. Quesadillas, some may say.
Tina, eat your
Some
quesadilla.
cheesesteaks, some hoagies. I do like a good Primo's. They're also good. I like any hoagie. Like I love a deli hoagie. I love a
Yeah.
Primo's. So that being said, we'll be back tomorrow and we will have some fun for you. We'll be eating some food. We'll be hanging with you because we're doing a live watch along tomorrow. You guys are going to be able to join us for a pregame show. Tyler, join us for a pregame show. We're going to do a live watch along right here in studio. We will have some food. We don't know what it's going to be yet, so it'll be a surprise for you. And then we'll also have our usual post-game show, so we'll get to watch the Angels, the Phillies beat the Angels tomorrow together. So join us tomorrow live all day. And then we do have our live watch party on May 10th. That's going to be down at Manny Young Brewing Company where you guys can actually join us in person. Bring your fun selves. Let's hang out. Let's watch the game. And it'll be the Marlins series, I guess, May 10th. And we'll watch together down at Manny Young Brewing Company. So lots of fun things on tap for us here at PHLY Phillies Podcast that you guys can tune in to join us for. Sorry that you don't like any of my takes, but I love that you guys are all here. Hit that thumbs up button on the way out. I'm getting a thumbs down from Tyler. Thank you. For Tyler, Jamie, and our buddy Jim, I'm Renee Washington saying thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great rest of your Tuesday, and go Phillies. See you next time.